I've been there before.
Exactly. That shit.
Okay, can you guys hear Alan? Let's do this mic test.
Okay.
Okay, we're good. Sound on Instagram.
Instagram, you got
Okay.
sound.
Okay, Facebook?
Facebook, you got sound.
Yep.
Anybody else, you got sound.
Anyone else?
Okay, we're starting over. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. So I don't know what you heard at the beginning, maybe nothing. I was just talking about the outpouring of emotion from around the world about Suzanne. I knew it was going to be big. I had no idea it was going to be huge. This tsunami, wave after wave, people pouring out their hearts. And we set up a tribute page at SuzanneSummers.com. We welcome you to go there and just say whatever you want. It's wonderful for us. And we read everything, everything. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I start reading all the emails, all the postings. It's really special. So the first people I want to thank are members of my family. There's Bruce and Caroline, there's Leslie and Stephen, then there's Ari and Beckett, and Zion, and Daisy, and Violet, and Camellia. They have all been running back and forth. I have not been alone since this happened last Sunday. And I think they have a plan afoot. Okay, I think they have a schedule, because when one leaves, the other one comes, and it's like everything seems to be working just fine. And I'm so appreciative. And it's brought us so much closer together, and we were so close to begin with that I never thought it would be possible. But it is possible. It's times like this that we all get emotional and warm and fuzzy, and family means so much to us now, so much. And it meant so much to us, Suzanne and myself, before. And I have to tell you that it wasn't always like this. When we first got together, we had two families that were light years apart. And Suzanne said to me, I am committing to bring both families together until we are one. And she did it. I didn't do it, she did it. It's amazing. We have this magnificent family now. Everyone loves everybody. We have so much fun together. And I was alone with all the grandchildren last weekend. Going to be with them again this weekend. I can't tell you how much fun that is. It's great. There's not a grim moment. They're all upbeat. They're a noisy lot, but peals of laughter and telling Zanny, they know we're a Zanny stories. And as Suzanne told our grandchildren as they arrived one by one, when they were born, I'm a different kind of grandmother, which was true. So, thank you, family. Thank you very, very much. I also want to thank Suzanne's ladies. You know who you are. You've been with Suzanne since the early 90s, when she was on HSN. You were with her when she announced, without discussing it with anybody, that we're going on a cruise. And we did go on a cruise. And we had the largest ship that Carnival had at the time. And it sold out in 20 hours. I got a call from the sales manager, and he said, we've never had this before. He said, it takes us a year to sell a cruise. because people book and then they cancel and we have to resell the cabin. He said, if we'd had more people answering the phone, we would have sold out in 10 hours. And those 4 or 5 days at sea were some of the most fun. And Suzanne did her Vegas show and some cooking demos and hung out with the ladies. And it was this beautiful love fest. And one of the things we discussed when things started to go in a negative direction was, what are your wishes for the future? What do you want us to do? And one of the things we discussed was she wanted us to continue developing great products for her ladies. Caroline is at the center of that. That's what she does a lot with our formulator. And we're going to have a lot more wonderful products coming up. And this isn't about money, this is about, she wanted to provide her ladies and her men. But her demographic is primarily women, with clean, organic, skincare, hair care, color cosmetics, and ingestibles, gut renew. That was really important for her, that she knows that her ladies are being taken care of and they've stopped using chemicals, rubbing chemicals on their body or ingesting chemicals. That was very important for her. So she said, just please keep it going. Please keep it going. That'll make me very happy. So we will, and we are. We will do that. Suzanne. I don't know what to say about Suzanne because the words don't make it. I wrote her a letter for her birthday that I think is posted somewhere. And I really tried hard to find the right word or words, and I never did. I don't think they exist. One of our sons referred to our relationship as functionally codependent, which I guess it was, because I did everything she wanted to do and she did everything I wanted to do, and 90% of the time it was the same thing. We were perfectly matched from the day we met 55 years ago. And for the past 42 years, we have never spent even 1 hour apart. And it was the greatest thing of my life. And I know it was the greatest thing of Suzanne's life as well. We talked about it a lot. And people asked us about it. How do you manage that? People said, I couldn't spend all that time with my mate. And I love my mate, I couldn't do it. Well, we didn't plan it. It just evolved. And next thing we knew, 42 years had gone by, and we were stuck together. And I remember one day Suzanne said to me, you know, when you're in another room in the house, I miss you. And I said, I feel exactly the same way. We were two peas in a pod. And that life is over now. I still feel her presence here. She's somewhere. I don't know where. I know she's here. I had a dream 2 nights ago where I looked over at her and she was looking at me, and then of course once I turned the lights on, she was no longer there. Was that real? I don't know. I find as I age, I spend more time thinking about an afterlife. And I believe there's an afterlife. I've had a couple of experiences, personal experiences, that have really turned me on to thinking when we go, our bodies go, but our soul, whatever soul is, I guess it's energy, it seems to go to another place. I don't know where that place is, but it seems to go to another place. I hope it does. So, once the family stops coming, I start my real life, and I don't know what that's going to be, and I'm not making any decisions right now. It's too early. I have only spent 2 weeks in my entire life living alone, and I hated it. I would wake up and think, okay, now what? What are we going to do? And I was my worst company. It was awful. But I have a family now, and I have dear friends, really dear, dear friends, and you know who you are. And I can count on my family, and I can count on my dear, dear friends. And I'm proud that I got through this rambling without one of those moments. And I don't try to discourage myself from those moments. I actually enjoy those moments, because when I feel one coming on, I go into our bedroom and I'm by myself and with Suzanne. So now I want to introduce my son Bruce, and he comes bearing gifts. Okay.
Mom would be upset
I know.
if we didn't cheers.
Here's to,
An amazing, amazing person.
yeah. She, forget about her accomplishments. As a mother and as a wife, she was a wow. She just always kept blowing me away. And then on top of it, all these accomplishments. I mean, really.
And anyone who ever came into contact with her, I know some of you have met her or been at a convention, or I saw somebody, you mentioned the cruise, and somebody said, I was there. You know that when you are in her presence, she makes you feel like you're the only one that exists. And that was her talent.
You know, I love reading the tribute page we've set up at SuzanneSummers.com. People pouring out their hearts.
8,000.
Really?
8,000.
8,000.
Yeah.
And it's just going to keep, go there.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
It really has buoyed us.
Yeah.
It's never easy to lose someone, but to see the effect that she's had and how she's personally touched so many lives is so meaningful. It really touches us, so thank you.
We knew that this was, it was going to be big. We knew that.
I didn't know it was going to be this
But
big.
not this big. This is
Yeah.
like unbelievable. Really unbelievable, and it continues to go on.
Yeah.
And I can't even keep up with all the TV shows and print media that just flood into my email. So I wake up in the morning, and I've been waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I go to sleep early. And reading everything. I want to read everything. And it's probably going to take me weeks
Months.
or months. But I want to read everything, because you're talking about my wife. And you're talking about Bruce's mother.
Yeah.
And it's so special. And wouldn't it be great if she was sitting here with us right now?
She is.
She is.
Yeah.
She is in a different form. I feel her.
Yeah.
I have actually heard her mothering me this week in funny ways, sometimes telling me to snap out of it.
Does she love that line from that movie with Cher? Right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. What was that called? Midnight? No, something. I forget.
Moonshot. Yeah. What was it?
Yeah.
Moon.
And Norman Jewison directed it. Norman Jewison, one of the great directors of the world. You know, his movies have won 35. Moonstruck. His movies have won 36 Oscars, and not one of them went to him. Go figure. Really, go figure.
Did he do anything?
He produced, he directed, he wrote. Yeah, incredible talent. Anyway.
You know, Caroline posted yesterday the first Johnny Carson appearance.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was.
Uncut, because we've seen it cut before, but this was.
Oh yeah.
Now, I don't know if you know, but that night, because I was 7 years old at that time, and we were living in Sausalito, and my mother flew down here to be on that show. If you see, you can scroll back and see the show, which is wonderful, and she's delightful. But I'm 7 years old, so I went to bed. I was staying at friends at the Fondres, and they woke me up. The parents woke me up, and my mom was so excited. Can you imagine your first time being on the Tonight Show with the legendary Johnny Carson? Right. And I was sitting there watching her, and I felt so sorry for her.
I know.
Because as a 7-year-old, I was thinking, who's up watching this?
That's funny. That's so funny. Wow.
Listen, we're going to keep loading up with all of these nostalgic videos of Suzanne and her appearances and her lectures and her all of that legendary stuff, and we'll ease back into our normal schedule. I'm hoping that Alan is going to agree to do a Big Al's Bar for us when he's up for it, to just keep sharing stories and memories.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want to do it.
Okay, good. Let's do it on
cathartic.
Wednesdays. Let's just keep
It is
yeah.
cathartic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. And your story, everyone loves hearing your stories. I know you
And
guys...
I'm actually hearing some new ones. That's amazing.
We'll have to give them a number. That'll be 37B.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's rare, when you're together this long. It's rare that anything new comes out. I'm going to start lying. Yeah. I'll dream up some great stories and I'll just lie. You won't know.
Exactly.
Right.
I know some of them are embellished.
Yeah. Me embellish?
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Well, when I'm telling them for the fourth or fifth time, I have to add a little something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what I was reflecting on is that when Mom started Three's Company and you guys were working on that, it was like we were all so naive and so the world was so much younger. I mean, I know it was television, but I used to skateboard down to CBS, and I'd have my long hair and I'd have my little CBS badge, and I'd walk, hey Bruce, how are you? And I'd skateboard through the halls, and there was Red Fox and there was Cher, and then I'd go onto the set for Three's Company, and John and Joyce were all like, they were like an aunt and uncle, and it was that kind of, it was sort of small town TV in a strange way. There were only 3 channels at the time. It was really a privilege and exciting to be a part of it and to look back and be like sort of in the club.
Right.
Considering I've never been in any clubs.
Well, anyway, we're lucky to be here.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate to have had Suzanne with us as long as she was with us in her physical form. And you were lucky to have her as a mother.
Amazing.
You didn't know you were poor growing up.
No. I mean, there was one night where for dinner we had a potato.
Okay.
And I just thought, tonight we're just having a potato.
Well, she's Irish.
Well, yes.
We did that the other night.
Yes, but I learned later that's all that she could afford that night. But you know, for when you're 6 and 7, a potato fills you up.
Yeah. You know, oftentimes people, you hear these salaries that people make on television, and they are. I mean, people get paid huge money for movies if they can draw an audience, and television. And it's true. But the reality is that, I don't know if you know this or not, but when Suzanne and I started living together, I was going through, or maybe I was through the divorce, I can't remember, and I didn't want to change my children's lives. So when I left, I took some clothes and my car, and I left everything else intact. And I moved into because I had no money at the time, a $200 a month apartment with Brucey and Suzanne. And
It was probably like 650 square feet. Maybe.
Right, oh yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. And so there was they called it a penthouse because we were on the second floor and it was a 2-story building. Right. And there was a staircase leading from our bedroom up to the roof. And that was a staircase for the guys fixing the air conditioners. But Brucey lived on the landing up there.
Yeah, it was on either side of the top of the stairs.
Right, and since the bathroom was in our bedroom, we had instructed Brucey, when you have to pee, just pee off the side of the building. And he did.
Little did they know that the side I picked was right in front of the kitchen.
Well, there was a hotel next to us, right?
Yeah, the Beverly Crest Hotel.
Is that what it was called?
Well, I know because the light was shining in.
Oh.
It was very pathetic, but it didn't feel pathetic. It was sweet.
And we had, and she cooked incredible food for us.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we lived well. The refrigerator was this big. Okay, I'll give you some idea of what kind of an apartment we had. And we lived there, and we did the best we could. Whoops, what's a fly doing here? We never have flies here. And so that's how we started out. And one day I came home, and I said, "Where's my aquarium?" I had a little aquarium with guppies, okay? And she said, "Oh, I had to sell it to pay the rent." And I said, "You couldn't have gotten $200 for this aquarium. I bought it for $10." And she said, "Oh, I also sold your clothes." What?
She was resourceful.
She said to me, "You've never been poor, have you?" I said, well, growing up, we were poor, but I didn't know it. I said, "But in my adult years, no, I've never been poor." And she said, "Well, I have. And when you're poor, you pay the bills, you sell whatever you can sell."
Yep.
So she sold my clothes.
And you know what? They needed to go out anyway. They were getting a little too 70s. We were moving into the 80s
Oh
at that
yeah.
time.
No, it was
A lot of bell bottoms.
oh yeah, a lot
A lot of
bottoms.
corduroy bell bottoms.
Yeah, but I didn't work for a long time. I felt so guilty about abandoning my children that I had trouble focusing, and I didn't work for almost 2 years. And then one day I thought something happened, and I thought I have to go back to work. So my first job, the agency sent me out to audition for a company called Household Finance, HFC. So I walked in and I auditioned for these guys from the agency. And the head guy said, "You sure sound like the right guy, but you don't look like the right guy. Go down the hall, look at yourself in the bathroom mirror, and then come back and be honest with us. Tell us if you would borrow money from a guy who looks like you." Now, I had big hair, I had a mustache, I had a beard. I was wearing a work shirt, jeans, and work boots, okay? So I said, "You're absolutely right." I said, "If you guys are here tomorrow morning, I'd like to come in." And they were there. They walked past me. I was sitting in the waiting room. They walked past me. They didn't recognize me. And I got the job. and they bought me out for 3 national spots, and we were on our way.
New story. I didn't know the story.
You didn't?
I didn't know that one.
Oh.
I just remember we were dirt poor in the one job you wouldn't take. Do you remember you got cast in a commercial for hemorrhoids?
No.
And that was the one you said, that's my line, right?
Right.
Not crossing that line.
So what's that hemorrhoid stuff?
Preparation H?
Preparation. There's a thing on television where they put stuff under someone's eyes and the bags disappear
Right.
and the wrinkles disappear. Now, I don't know this for a fact. All I can tell you is that in television in the 60s and 70s and 80s, if you had bags and stuff, they would put Preparation H under your eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if that's what they're using for the thing that they're selling.
It
It's
probably,
not toxic free.
yes. And back then, it didn't have the warning on the outside that said for internal use only. Or for external use
External
only.
use only,
External
right.
use only.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love being here with you and talking about good times.
It's a privilege to be here with you.
Yeah.
Every time I see one person come on, I'm like, that's so cool. We turn on the cameras and somebody is curious, and to see, and before I walked around, there were a couple thousand people watching, and thank you. I know you're here because of the love you have for my mom, and I so appreciate it. We so feel it. And I posted something on Instagram, and I got more comments than I've ever had likes. And I want you to know I'm reading everything, and I too will, when I finally get through everything, give everyone a thank you. But please accept this as my gratitude and my thank you. I'm just so moved. It's really been getting us through this week, and will continue.
Yeah. Go to the tribute page at SuzanneSummers.com. I love reading the tribute page.
Well, it's also really nice that it's all in one place.
Yeah.
So, social media, we have so many incredible comments, but the
It
fact
disappears.
that, the fact when it stays on the tribute page,
Yeah.
it's like,
It's
you
forever.
can go visit her legacy.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
really beautiful.
You know, after this material will be seen by hundreds of thousands of people. And they may or may not be Suzanne's ladies. But I hope, if they're watching right now, I hope they'll go to the tribute page at SuzanneSummers.com.
Yeah.
You know, we started that business 40 years ago. And we didn't know what we were doing. We had no idea what we were doing. All we knew was that everybody in America and most countries of the world knew the name Suzanne Summers. And we were doing something called branding. And no one was branding in those days. And we didn't know what we were doing, but we were branding. And that was the beginning. And then we realized there's a service we can provide, because we're in a position to be able to develop products that are actually good for you. And that's what we've been doing. And because there's no middle person, there's no shopping channel that takes a huge piece of your revenue, we're able to discount incredible things to the point where they're affordable. Now, they're not affordable for everybody. There are people who are living paycheck to paycheck. I get it. I know a lot of people out there, and I feel for you, and I hope that things improve for you. And what I found is you envision what you want and keep thinking about it. It's like that's your ultimate target. You want this. I'll tell you, most of the time it happens. Just keep thinking about it. This is where I want to be. whatever that is. This is where I want to be, and it'll probably happen. So this is where I want to be right now. And I want to thank you all very much. And when my family stops coming with great food and cooking great meals for me and keeping it upbeat, and I am living here alone, I don't know what that's going to be like.
That's so sad. We're not going to leave you.
Yeah, we're gonna help you schedule friends.
Exactly. You've only been alone for 2 weeks out of your whole life.
That's
You just
right.
told us.
That was awful.
We're just gonna schedule your friends to start coming.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
They're all waiting.
They're going to come and service me.
Exactly.
It's just as long as Big Al's bar is open, you're never gonna be alone.
It's always
That's true.
24/7.
You're always going to have some Irish people
Yeah.
here.
Robin wants to know how Gloria is doing.
How's Gloria?
Glory, I'll tell you, Glory's a little strange. I'm a little strange. The first night, what I always do every night, I stretch out my arm and we hold hands while we sleep.
You and Mom.
Yeah. So I stretched out my arm, and I'd say within 10 seconds, Gloria was sleeping on my arm. And she stayed there, and even though my arm started going to sleep, I didn't want to move it. I wanted her to keep on being there. And she's a little odd. She knows something's going on, but she's great, and she's been, what a comfort. We all talk to our pets, always. And I talk to her, and I've trained her to do a few things, like I can get her to jump on the bed anytime, and I can get her to come to me. If she's at one end of the house and I'm at the other end, if I whistle, she comes running like a little dog. It's great. So I'll keep teaching her tricks, and Gloria will keep comforting me. And I'm lucky. Suzanne loved Gloria. Although, if I was going to be really honest about it, and I'm glad Gloria's not in the room right now,
Here it comes.
but Suzanne liked Betty the best. And Betty unfortunately passed away, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I guess. So we have a big picture, a headshot of Betty in our room. That's how much we love Betty.
Mom had favorites.
Yeah.
You're not going to like this, but that's where Mom was a little bit like her father. 'Cause my grandfather had favorites, had favorite kids, had favorite grandkids, and he would just say it like it's just a fact. You're like, Gramps, you're not supposed to say that.
Can you tell them the story about when you were setting up for the Today Show interview in the morning?
Setting up for the Today Show interview. What? Give me a hint.
Behind you, in the pit.
Oh, right. Remember, first thing in the morning,
Oh, yeah.
we turned on the lights,
Oh, yeah.
and I looked
Very
over.
early. They were doing an interview.
It was about 6 a.m., and I looked at Alan, and I said, did you turn on the fireplace? And he said, no.
Yeah, no.
So
Yeah.
we enjoy believing that Mom was signaling us, because that was
Yeah.
24 hours after
But
she passed.
also the couple, I believe they're both architects who designed our new home, who have become dear friends of mine. They were driving by our old house the other night, and they saw a shooting star going across the sky that dissolved when it got to our old house.
Wow. This one, or
No, the other one.
the bighorn? Or this
No,
one?
no, our former home where we lived. You know, the old house?
Right here.
Yeah, right over there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right where I'm pointing.
You've had a few houses.
Don't get
Sorry,
done.
yeah, right. It's a
Okay.
memorial. Let's be nice.
Okay.
Hey, you guys, it's also been a long time. I know a lot of you probably need products, and we have obviously not been focusing on business, but I said to my team today, I'm like, just put up a 25% off so that if people need their stuff, they can get a discount. So the promo code is LOVE25. And if you need anything, you can just go to the site and at least there's a 25% discount because we're not in a place to yet really be thinking about that. So.
Well,
So we were going to make dinner for you tonight, but we showed up and Alan had ribs.
Al's ribs. Big Al's
I
bar, then
did-
Big Al's ribs.
We did not protest.
Yeah.
I was like, if he's making ribs,
Yep.
that's
okay. We'll have ribs.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's like the best thing ever. That
Yeah.
was the best thing ever. Al's
Well-
ribs.
Well,
And
I hate
tequila.
to say goodbye, but
Can we see you next week on Wednesday?
Sure.
At 4?
yeah.
Are you?
We're
Can
gonna
we
keep
fit into your schedule?
We're gonna keep Big Al's bar. What we're gonna do this Friday, guys, Friday at 4. I have Daisy and Violet are gonna join me, and we'll do our tribute to Suzanne. And then next week we'll try to kind of go, you know. At some point we got to go back to the office, and our office is here with you guys. So.
Because
it's gonna
that's
be
what
a-
she would have wanted.
It's a gentle step back. It's, you know, listen, it's always going to be a tribute to her, but that's sort of our plan. But we wanted just for you to have time with Suzanne with Alan and Bruce right now. We're still planning, you know, memorial and all kinds of things. So,
But never forget, Mom was a worker bee. She
Yeah.
was not. She wasn't really into relaxing too much. Her idea of relaxing was reorganizing her closet.
yeah, or moving furniture.
Or moving furniture. She had, you know, those slidey things you put under furniture.
Oh, yeah.
She
Oh,
had
yeah.
about 5 sets
Yeah.
of those.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw her move the piano one night by herself.
But that's her. So.
Well, I asked you one time to help me move that marble table, and you were busy doing something else. And I was like, "Oh, screw this! I just did it. I just moved it." You know, you
Because-
can just like shimmy a little one way, shimmy a little.
But also,
Okay.
Caroline's a beast.
Yeah.
Don't let her demure personality fool you. She is a beast.
Well, we are going to have Alan for you here once a week. One of us will come out here once a week, and you will have Alan's stories at Big Al's bar. I'm going to say on Wednesdays, but you know we're kind of fluid on schedule.
Yeah.
So-
Although, I like Wednesdays with Al.
So one of the Wednesdays with Al, I like that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've changed in my life, and I did it for Suzanne because I just know that she would love this. I've always been the slob in the family, okay? I've never cared much about having a neat closet. I just, as long as I would know where everything was, okay? But I have everything mixed up, suits with shirts and thin underwear with socks and gloves and I didn't
The
care.
hair is standing up.
I know, yeah, right. And yeah, one of the things Suzanne told me about Brucey, well, he loves to clean his closet and color coordinate his socks.
You know, it's the one thing I can control.
Okay. So my closet, I didn't do it. Okay, someone else did this for me. Okay. But my closet is perfecto right now. Okay? And the other thing I'm doing that Suzanne would love is as soon as I wake up in the morning, I get out of bed and I make my bed.
Ah.
And I haven't made a bed since I helped my mother in the boarding house, okay? And I'm enjoying it because I know that Suzanne would really love that a lot. And I'm getting rid of all the stuff that we have that we don't need in the bedroom. 'cause I want it to be all nice and clean and beautiful. We have a beautiful bedroom. And,
It's actually
So-
very healthy.
yeah,
There's a general that I read an interview with a general who said, if you're like looking for baby steps to sort of get back on track, start every morning by making your bed. Do that first, and that's the first step.
yeah.
That's a general.
Well, I've always fancied myself as a,
Yeah. I don't know what he's a general of.
Well, you guys, thank you everyone for being here. We'll be
Yeah.
back on Friday at 4 p.m. with
Yeah.
the girls.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. Love you
Bye-bye.
all. Thank you.
Yeah.
We feel it.
tribute page, SuzanneSummers.com.